Hi guys, so this week we are talking about illuminated letters and illuminated manuscripts and how those were used in medieval times. So this is going to be a really quick demo because this project is so unique and has so much room for you to add your own personality to it. I don't want to give you too much instruction. I want you guys to really try to be creative with this project. So I'll kind of walk you through my process of how I would get started doing one of these illuminated letters. So the first thing that I've done is I've gotten a piece of white paper. Now, of course, as always, you can use any color paper that you want to, but white is best for this because we're going to be adding a lot of color and maybe even some metallic colors if you have those available later. So it's best to start with a white page. The first thing that I did was I drew a giant K, which is the first letter of my first name, and you'll notice that I didn't make my letter this big. I didn't even make it this big. I made it really big so that it filled the page, but I still left a little bit of room around the edge, and you'll see what we're going to do with that in a minute. So I drew a really simple letter K, and then I started kind of adding to the letter and beefing it up a little bit so it was a little bit thicker. And then I went in and started adding all these little details to kind of fill in the letter. We want these letters to be as full of details, as full of illustrations as possible. So the first thing that I started with was this sun because I wanted to fill this empty space at the top of the K. And then I went over here and I filled this kind of column that makes up the side of my K with some clouds. And the sun and the clouds kind of give me a little bit of inspiration to do sort of a beach theme for my illuminated letter. Now, you don't have to pick a theme if you don't want to. It would be really cool if you just chose a bunch of different designs that maybe were things that you enjoyed, or you could do something really simple and decorative like flowers and leaves and things like that. It's really up to you how you want to decorate your letter. I kind of went with a theme, and I would be continuing that theme throughout the rest of my illuminated letter. So I added a lot of elements to the sides and within the letter itself to kind of beef up the letter and add some interest to it. So I even turned the little kick leg of the K into some waves, okay? So be creative with the shapes of your letters and how you're using design within the lettering, okay? So once you have that all kind of planned out and designed, you can see that this space is filled pretty well, but I still don't know how much space I have left because I need to do a border. So if you're looking to do a border really simply and easily, a ruler is a really handy tool if you have a ruler at home, but you could also use the edge of a book or something like that, something firm. So I'm going to give myself 1.5 inch border all the way around. So I'm going to stop my ruler at 1.5 inches, and I'm just going to make a little mark. And I'm going to do that on all of my sides. Oh, I think that was actually is 1.25 inches. I knew that was too thick. Okay, 1.25 inches all the way around. And I like measuring my borders just so I'm sure that they are equal and the same. I hate getting to the end of a project where I've done a border or something that required a little bit of measuring and I didn't do it and one side is uneven. So I'm just going to go around and create this border for myself, and then we're going to go into the border, and you can either add designs to the border. So maybe if I was going with a theme like this, I would continue that theme and do maybe like seashells in the border or something like that. Or you can, and I will show you how to do this in just a moment, you can start just breaking up your border into shapes that you could then later fill with color. And so if I were going to do that, I would probably erase out these little lines at the corner intersections. And then I'm just going to take my ruler and I'm going to start going in and breaking up this border into different shapes. So I'm just turning the way that my ruler is facing, and we want these to be symmetrical. And hopefully you remember that symmetrical means if I do something to this corner, I gotta do it to this corner. If I do something to this corner, I gotta do it to this corner, because if we run a line down the middle, we want our border at least to be somewhat symmetrical. Now, all the decorations in your letter and things like that, you probably don't want to be symmetrical because it's more interesting to our eye when there's some balance on either side. But for the border, If you're breaking it into simple shapes, I would do your best to try to make it symmetrical all the way around so that your design looks thoughtful. So it's up to you how you want to break this up. I'm kind of just breaking it into triangles at the corners. Maybe then I would do like a little triangle shape over here so that it looks a little bit faceted, like a jewel on the edge. And then if you're doing kind of like a simple pattern for your border, you can just go in and add a lot of great color to these areas. So I would continue just breaking up that border, and then now I see how much space I have left to fill around my letter. So I would add a few more details, like this is a big space right here that needs to be filled. I could do something right here and even up in this corner. So once you've drawn out everything in pencil, take a look at where there are blank spaces on your page and go in and try to fill those with some more details as well. When you are totally done, it is up to you what material you want to use to color your illuminated letter. You could use paint, you could use colored pencils, markers, Sharpies, you could use crayons, really anything that you have on hand. I personally think it looks nice before I start going in and adding color to outline everything with a black marker first. That just shows me where all my borders are, and then it's almost becoming like your own coloring page where you can just go in and fill in all of the colors. Something that is very distinctive to illuminated letters is adding in gold or silver to your work. So if you happen to have something at home, I know I don't necessarily have anything metallic at my house, but if you happen to have like a metallic pen, maybe a gel pen that's a little bit sparkly, or metallic colored pencils, metallic crayons, that would be something super fun to add. Just a few hints. You don't want the whole thing to be gold, but just a few hints of a metallic color would really bring our illuminated letters to life. We can't wait to see how you make these unique. Please don't forget to share with us, and hope you guys have a great week. Bye.